All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. And I'm coming again on this Deborah platform. And I'm going to tell you, I got a message here and I'm going to put it forth and I'm going to upload it. I was going to go live, but I felt that I'm going to just go in and speak on this topic and just upload it. Okay. So it's coming out of Deuteronomy 28, and the title is They Created Deuteronomy 28 out of a religion. Is that what I'm saying? Let me see if that's what I posted. They created Deuteronomy 28 as a religion. And that's sad because exactly what it is. It's not something hardcore. It's not spirit and truth. It is nothing to do with the Father and what they have designed regarding Deuteronomy 28. And they have taken on different groups, different church, different academies, different camps, different everything to surround their belief of Deuteronomy 28, and only the two verses, one that says they're going to be in the land of their oppressors, and the other one is the ships. They took those pieces out and they formed this religion around just those two pieces. And it's sad because it's no righteous in it. It's no just in it. It's no truth in it. It's no spirit nor truth. It's a lie. It's built up on a big lie, and they have formed everything in it the way that they want their own people to believe them, and the way they want a society to accept them. They're not going to accept you out of your own self belief and how you formed a religion around a chapter and a couple of verses. You see, I think that you all done the Most High unjust. He already just said to me, Deborah, they've been doing it. It is nothing new. It's nothing new. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. And they're going to continue to do it. And I got a plan for them. A really sharp plan. Because a lot of them really thinking that it's going to be the way they feel that it's going to be based on a Hebrew Israelite movement religion. And it is a religion because it's a people who have formed some belief out of a chapter with two verses that tells them that they are the people, but yet they don't tell the truth of the chapter. They don't tell the truth of the matter of what they believe. Because see, what they did is they took out the curse. They executed the curse. They took it out and threw it away. And they took out many of things out of Deuteronomy 28. The only thing, when I say took out, they didn't put it into their religion. They took everything out of Deuteronomy 28 and just based their religion on ships coming, bringing them over here and them being oppressed. That's it. And they said, we got it now. We the people. But not really understanding you are the people that has been disobedient since the beginning of time. Have you ever checked that out? See, they don't, somewhere it's okay. So I want to make sure I sling this information that I'm about to put forward into the right order, or else I'm going to find myself in their religion, the Hebrew Israelite movement and cult. It's a religion. And all over the place, camps, church, everything that believe in the Hebrew Israelite movement have formed their religion based on Deuteronomy 28. That's why they quick to spill out Deuteronomy 28, we the people, because it says it. But wait a minute, It said way and beyond what you said it said. You only took out a couple of pieces and you built a religion to deceive your own people. And they love it. They love the idea that you gave them pieces that does not connect to truth. And that's the sad part is about it. It doesn't connect to truth. And when I say connect to truth, to the fullness of the truth of the matter, of what is it that Deuteronomy is saying, that not that many verses from Genesis to Revelation has not said. But they don't want you to bring that into their newfound religion. They don't want you to bring that into their cult or into their movement or to their academies, to their church, to their camp. They don't want you to bring none of that. You only allowed to bring out of Deuteronomy 28 the ship that they came over here in a United Snakes on, and them being oppressed, because they feel those two keys caused them to be identified as we, the special people in Ohio. And that's sad, because they don't even understand who argue. They don't care about how they conduct themselves toward a creator since Genesis all the way up to the year 2022, and it's going to continue. They don't care about that. They don't care about what Revelation says. They don't care about what Genesis and Exodus, Leviticus. They don't care about none of that, you guys. All they care about is how they form this religion, the Hebrew Israelite movement religion. And yes, it is a cult. It is wicked and evil because they lied, you guys. They have lied and continue to lie. October of 2022. They want you to believe that other information is worth knowing. And what is righteous is not worth knowing. But what is unrighteous is worth knowing. You see, because the unrighteous dies. It is a history of death. It is a history that ends, goes to the grave. Okay? So that's what they want you to drill your mind into, is to believe that they got information and receipts to help you go into the darkness in which they are walking in, instead of coming into the light from this, how would I say it, wicked religion, into the marvelous light through spirit and truth. They don't want you to go that way. They don't want you to know the history. See, people try to make it look like you don't want to know what the history is, just because you trying to tell them, look, the history that you're talking about is the same thing Solomon said, the history of the world. The history of the world. The history of the world can't compare to the history that's spirit and truth. It can't compare. It can't compare. It has nothing in common outside of both goes in total different direction. The history that you find in the world goes to the ground. It dies. But the history that you find under the Ruach HaKodesh and its teaching live eternal. And it never dies, even if it has to live in the lake of fire. So you see what I'm saying? It's a bit different. And being so, we are in the end days, in the midnight hour, the trumpet been blown, judgment's in the midst, the fire have been lit, the Gentile time is up, time is up, and here we are standing around still playing in this newfound religion, Hebrew Israelites. You see, that's a religion that they have cranked up. And it has a lot of wicked and evil in it. No one talks about it. No one says anything. Why? Because they have deceived so many people in it till people don't know anything righteous that rests therein. They don't know any faith in it. They don't know any belief in anything in that religion. You don't, because it's living based on a lie. All of it is living based on a lie, especially when you take the Deuteronomy in 28 and only make it something that can support your religion, the Hebrew Israelite movement. See, they only took a couple of verses out so it can support their truth in what they want to call truth. But see, they ain't telling the story, you guys. So let's go there. They have turned, and with me, let me tell you what problem I have with it. And yes, I do have a serious problem. Is when you lie on my Father, you mess with me. When you stand on these devil platform and teach these people all these lies regarding my Father in the heavens, then you just stepped on me. And I'm going to say something. It's time for me to open my mouth toward a lot of this nonsense that's going on. You want to search your history? Get your tail over there and search your history. And keep your tail over there in your history. See when them dark hours come. See where your history saved you. See where your history redeemed you. See where your history comforts you. Your history won't do nothing for you but make you look silly. And that's it. And not only that, in great sorrow. Because none of the history that's worth speaking on today, bringing up darkness of the world. It is of the world and trying to make it the history of Ahia. It's a total different one. One history goes to the ground. The other history lives. Sister Deborah is talking about, don't find the midnight hour time, the last hour, y'all. The trumpet been blown to teach the people the history that's dead. Because nothing that let's say all those books that they say was taken out of the book. They brought all those books and they were all into these books and they still into them. But what does it do to your eternal history? That's the true history. Your eternal history tells your past history. You get it? That lives. He is the beginning and the end. That means it lives to the beginning to the end. That's the real history. But the history to the crap that took place on the earth, as far as what people did, how many slaves they bought, how many people they killed, where they killed them, where they suffered, and all that. Wait a minute. To bring all of that history up would say Ahia is a liar and Deuteronomy is a liar. Ahia is a lie and Deuteronomy 28 is a lie. With every history you dare to search is found in Deuteronomy 28. And that's it. There's no more searching history because Deuteronomy did enough history searching to you to let you know the beginning to the end, you guys. It's wrapped up in you. So what do people do? They go searching the history, searching nonsense, searching. It's just like me saying, let me search into the history and see how many slave Kennedy father owned. Oh, let me see how many slaves George Washington owned. You all, that is dead history. Just like I try to tell you all, just like wisdom, you get it on the flesh and you got one in the spirit. You get knowledge in the flesh or you get it in the spirit. You get knowledge in the understanding in the flesh or you get it on the spirit. The realm that's in the spirit is eternal. It is present and eternal. All this that you're getting in your flesh is sending you to a dark tunnel. That's it. It weighs nothing. It's just like, why would someone try to make it look like the history today that's being spoken about Ahia and the things that's going on with the Hebrew Israelite is important to know your history that's dead. If your history that's dead in the world can save you, bring that stuff on back to me. If your history in the world can shine light on my Father, bring that stuff on in. But none of it. It's all vanity and vanity and vanities. Vexation in spirits, because there are spirits leading people to believe. Because people want to be recognized. People seriously wants to be recognized in this day and time. And they will do anything to deceive you, to be looked at and to like and to strive to. They don't care if they got to cut your throat to get a like. They're going to do it. They don't care if they have to shoot you in the head to get it. They're going to do it. They will bring up all the worldly matters and put it before you, put it on a plate for you and feed it to you. And tell it to you like you should supposed to eat of it. Every day they ready to put on your plate. That's how history is. History of the world cannot help you. But the history that is spirit and truth can. But the history of the world and this land, they killed this many, and this one here, where they beat them and they transport them here. What is it going to gain you in the light? Nothing. No history of the world can do anything for you but allow you to walk in darkness and wicked and evil. And this is where we're at today. Deuteronomy 28 has been used and abused. It has been dishonored and disrespected, even though it was the warning of all the information we needed to run on. So see, even if we came over here, we still wouldn't have used it like Ahia had given it to us. You see, ain't that sad? We still would have took it and dragged it, smeared it, chopped it up in pieces, disowned it, disrespect it like we're doing today. So it's a good thing we didn't have a book, because you still wouldn't have done nothing with it, just as today. Okay, and they have misinterpreted, dragged it, Deuteronomy 28, all in the mud. They have destroyed Deuteronomy 28 with their ugly, wicked mouths and their sin and wickedness and evil. Because they took it and they made it not of Ahia, but of themselves to prove we the people. So what? So what? You've been the people that has been acting a pure nut since Genesis, all the way up until now. When you learn that, yes, you are the people. You are the clown of the world. You are the wicked of the world. You are the evil of the world. Ahia has never in all the time heaven and earth been here. Hear me now. Y'all hear me now. Hear this now. Y'all got to hear this here. Listen to what I'm finna say, because he's putting it in my spirit. This world, since it been here, Ahia has not destroyed humans on this earth the way he had destroyed Israel and Jerusalem. Ahia has never, ever destroyed humans the way he have destroyed Israel and Judah since Genesis to today, and that which is yet to come. I won't even count that. But I will say this. From Genesis to today, we are the only human beings that Ahia have destroyed by great numbers that cannot be counted. Look at all the stars in the sky and the sand in the near the sea. He's just saying, you were great numbers, but I destroy a greater number than thee. See, but you the people. It's every time Ahia had to destroy this same stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient, this whoremonger, this wicked and evil people, he always had to destroy them by great numbers. And the only reason why he did that is because he's the creator. He get tired of you taking a bat trying to hit him in the back of the head, Because that's all you all do. Even to today. People will run around here and try to make me a lie. And I'm the right nonprofit in this day and time. Not a dead one, but a living one. Have no reason to lie on nobody or tell anyone a lie. Don't have no gain in it. Don't care if she have one subscriber. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm about my Father's business. And my Father's business always prepared the prophets to do what he created them to do, not what man said they should be doing. You can't tell Ahia that your prophet's not supposed to open their mouth. You know how silly men sound when they say you better keep quiet and ask your husband. What if you don't have a husband? Do you see how silly you sound? What if a young lady 20 wanted to ask some questions? And when she go home, there's nobody home for her to ask them questions. You know how long that been? A mighty long time. Where they have not been in their houses. When? Since the 400 years. See, they took Deuteronomy and they tore it to pieces and only took 2 verses out of it to support their religion. But if they really read it, they'll see that, yeah, we are the people who have always never, ever followed the rules, even to the year 2022. But we want to blame everybody for it. Or how you say use a lie from a pit of hell. You've been like this before the heathens even stepped on the scene. You've been like this before Roman Catholics. You've been like this here before anything. This is who you are as a people. And I chose you as a people. I chose you from heavens before the foundation as a people. Why? He had to get a people to bring the Messiah down in. You see? Messiah had to come down a nation of people. He didn't come down the whole house of Israel. He came down the tribe of Judah. So he had to have had a people based on the seed that was in his righteous, his faith, and his belief. They seed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, were the seed. You know what seed that was? When the sower sowed the seed, he sowed 4 sets of seeds. Only one went into the soil. The ones that goes into the soil are the righteous one, the believer, and the faith that's branded in them for his name's sake. You see? So those are the only one that will return back into the bosom of the Most High or higher. Because those are the ones that have been orchestrated. But yes, he picked a people to be able to come down in so the Messiah can come down the bloodline of the people that he has chosen before the foundation of the world. He did not choose you because you was all that and some. Matter of fact, he chose you because you was going to be the worst of the worst on the face of the earth. Everything from homosexual, every sin, every wickedness started in the house of Israel and Jerusalem. Yes, it did. Since you want to say this book is about you, tell the truth and shame the devil. Because if it tells you, if you read it, you'll see yourself in it. As you were to yesterday, you show like that today. But what you so busy doing, making a higher a lie, so that you can live your unrighteous religion among a people who still yet blind and cannot see nor hear. So Sister Deborah finna go into this here message. And I'm going to start off in Genesis 15. In Genesis 15, the Most High is talking to Abraham in a vision. So when you hear Sister Deborah talking about spirit and truth, same thing, like unto. You see, he's had to deal with the men in visions and dreams because they ain't got sense to grasp things through the power of the word of Yah. So he has to come a way that he can implant it into their spirit first and foremost. Because if he gave it to them in the natural, y'all, it falls straight to the ground. So he has to come to them in the spirit. And how do he come? Through visions and dreams. where the flesh has no connection, none whatsoever. He has to come to them that way. Because like I said, if he had to tell them in their flesh to hit from him to their flesh, it'll fall straight on the ground. Straight on the ground. So he has to come to them in a vision or a dream. So this here in Genesis 15, Ahiah is coming to Abraham in a heavy dream. And to me, one of the part of the dream, it feels like he was knocked out dead. Okay, so in Genesis 15 and verse 13, he says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, what seed is that? That is the seed of the flesh. Okay, that is the seed of the flesh. Okay, which was given the promise of the land. Let me say that again. That is the seed of the flesh that has been given, okay, the promise of the land. There is another seed, and that seed is the seed of the spirit. Okay, when he told him to look in the sky to the stars, that is going to identify the seeds on both ends. It shows him that there's going to be seeds on the natural and there's going to be seeds on the spirit that's coming out of you as nations. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand there is two seed, just like there's two promise. Okay, the seed in which 13 is speaking of, it's the seed of the promise. Okay, the promise of land. So therefore, this is the seed of the flesh. But then there's a seed of the spirit. Okay, and the seed of the spirit, it has a promise of eternal life. You see, that seed is not connected to like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's connected to the faith, the belief, and the righteous brand that's in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is a brand. That same brand I'm branded with. That same brand others are branded with, because we're branded in the spirit for the promise of eternal life. Okay? So the children of the bloodline is the promise of the seed of the promise of the land. Now listen to this. The children of the spirit, okay, can they be also the children of the promise of the land? Yes. When he identified to Abraham, many nations shall come out of thee, okay, he's letting them know spiritual seeds going to come out of you and natural seeds. Okay, so even though the spiritual seed is gaining righteous, is being branded before heaven and earth is created, they're being branded with righteous belief and faith. It's branded in them. Okay, they can also be some of those that is in the promise of the land. You get what I'm saying? That's why he calls it a small remnant. That's why he called it a narrow gate. Okay. But the one for the eternal, the seed of the eternal, can also fall in the seed of the promise. Those that are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's seed bloodline, some of them could be branded with eternal. Okay? Eternal through righteous faith and belief. Like Abraham was just counted in because he was counted in with everyone else that is counted. We're all like when the Father and Yeshua called us sheep. He's called us sheep with no S. And he called the goats with an S. Why? Because when we are one in Ahiah, Okay? In the mission, we are one. We are not Abraham's, Jacob's, and Isaac are seeds. No, we are one seed that has been branded for our highest namesake with faith, belief, and righteous. So that's how Abraham was counted in as righteous. But the seed of the promise are those who are promised land, being so you are the children of Jacob's. Okay? And the promise was that you inherit the land floating with milk and honey. Okay? That was the promise to Abraham, that he would give them this land. This is what I discovered, and I had to shut down. I had to go to sleep. I had to shut down because I discovered that Jerusalem, Israel, and everywhere the Nile River runs, as far as the Euphrates, I think it's called river, it covers a large part of the land, all the way up to Turkey. So that is divide our land, which was lied. See, we look at Jerusalem and Israel, and it look like a pin needle. That's what was a lie, y'all. I'm going to read that to you to show you why you chasing world history. Spiritual history is right before your eyes. You will not, and you have not, since the beginning of time, chase spirit and truth. Okay? Now, in Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13, Ahiah is telling Abraham in this great horror of darkness, and he's in a deep sleep, how he's going to, how his seed shall be a stranger in the land. That is the seed of the bloodline. Okay? That's not the seed where Abraham was grafted in righteous. That's not the same seed. Okay? Those two promises. Okay? But Ahiah going to have some, just like he have in Gentile heathens and all nationalities. He's going to have that same brand of faith, righteous, and belief in many nations. You see? You get what I'm saying? They're going to be already branded for his name's sake. Okay? So, but the children of the bloodline of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's bloodline, their promise is the land, the promised land. But in them are found as well some eternal seed of faith, righteous, and belief branded in them, but very few. Okay? It's not in great numbers. I know you all didn't heard it. All Israel gonna be saved. Yes, saved as way you want to feel saved is. But the truth of the matter, if Ahiah put you through a 400 year captivity, and you still in that captivity, lied on him, knocked him in the back of his head with a bat, still in the front of the face of the heathen, lying, deceiving your own people. You're the prophets and the teachers that came to deceive your own people through this newfound religion that did not give your people the fullness of what is righteous, what is just, and what is truth in Deuteronomy 28. You only took out 2 verses to build up your religion enough to deceive your own people. And they went flocking to you. And today they are more deceived than they ever been in life, because they're chasing something that ain't going to be nothing but a circle, while you still chasing your tail in the world history of what the world has done unto you. You cannot chase. You cannot chase the Gentiles' errors. You cannot chase the Gentiles' wickedness. You cannot chase the Gentiles' evil. You cannot chase the Gentiles' lies. You can't chase them. Why? Because it's founded in the power of Ahiah. It has been orchestrated to be as it it is so beautiful telling us that. How is it we want to make him a lie by denying the whole Deuteronomy and only take out the ships and being oppressed? Won't even go in and see that there's an end game to the curse. There is an end to the curse. And they are so gone here to where they can't see that the end game is what's going to cause a higher to deliver you out of the hands of your captive. And because 400 years you took, you would think, well, why is it he going to deal with the Israelites first? Why is he going to judge us? Why is his fire kindled, lit among us? Why? Because you still worse than you were when you got here. And the reason of why you're here. See, Ahia want me to let you know he do not appreciate you all. And I don't care. You, all of you. He don't appreciate you all lying on him and using your deceitful tactics to win the minds of those who go on anyway. That's why he was saying, and leading the captivity of silly women, because they are so silly. There's no spirit in truth. There's no just, no nothing to help them, none whatsoever. But a bunch of clown acting men trying to lead a newfound religion and has no support, none whatsoever. Let me show you what I mean. You know how you might have the Baptists, the Jehovah's Witness, the Catholics, how they might have groups of different same ones over in different states. This Hebrew Israelites, let me show you how deep it is. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, so that's why you did it like that. That's why you let it go so deep, as if, in a sense, the rabbit hole so deep, it's dark from the deepness of it all the way up to the tip. It ain't no light in it. Let me tell you what happened. When you have different religions, you have, maybe you have in each city, probably 400 or 500 Baptist churches, 400 or 500 Lutheran churches. You go to the next city, another 500, another, in this here Hebrew Israelite movement, when they formed their church, because their hearts were deceiving from the intent and not allow those that Ahia has truly marked for his name's sake. So therefore, Ahia let them continue to wobble in their lives. Now listen to this. Why is it the Hebrew Israelites got their own? Even you hear a husband and a wife and their children. That's their own. Off to themselves. That's not of y'all. In case y'all didn't know that. That's no representation. That's no reputation. That's not of y'all. They form their own. Then you got this one here, camp over here, called one thing. You got this camp over here called another. You got this camp on this corner, this camp on this corner, this camp on that corner, and every one of them on their same corner of Chicago against each other and speaking a different doctrine. You see? You go to New York, same way. Camps all over the place, academies all over the place, set in the order of how man wanted to deceive their own nation. The tribe of Judah was known, and the house of Israel, but the tribe of Judah was known for always wanting to go on the other end and not follow the end of righteous. And this is one reason. I ain't gonna say it was always known, but the house of Israel and Judah never followed the will of the Father. They never did the righteous will. They never did the things that is righteous and just. You see, they always did everything against Ahia. It's the only people Ahia have ever since this world began. And I know now one of you, I'm going to show you that's the ignorance. That shows you how much darkness you're walking in. Because you never did your study like Ahia charged me to do it. I told you. He said, go in there and see how many times he killed the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah by great numbers. And it was just blowing my mind. I had to even close my book then and go to bed because he was too deep. And he's right. It's so much to graft in spirit and truth. You got to go down and lay down. Say, wait a minute, I got to take a nap. Because it's just that deep. So in the Deuteronomy 28, they turned around and they switched the whole Deuteronomy 28 and made nothing about it legit outside of the ship and being oppressed as slave. That's it. So let's go back to Genesis. And Ahiah don't like that. So when Sister Deborah is telling you, you got all these different religions, all these people in their house trying to play holy than thou, teaching you the world and then giving you 10% on the Sabbath. But yet they saying they worshiping the Yah and we are the people. Baby, they need to get themselves checked out real quick, especially here through Ahiah. Ask Ahiah to tell you, ain't you gone? He'll tell you. He'll tell you, quick, you gone. And if you don't know you gone, that's on you. You gone. But the fact of the matter is, when I got on here, my whole thing was, what is wrong with these people on this platform? That's why Sister Deborah the father had told me you can call it the devil's platform. The devil's platform. And yes, some people laugh at that, but the truth of the matter, it is truth. It is righteous. It is just. It is the truth of the whole matter of all these platforms is owned by the devil. And that's why people speaking devilish messages that supports the devil, messages that the devil tell them to speak on, messages that the devil tell them to talk on, messages, you do what I tell you, I give you some subscribers, I give you likes, I give you this, and I give you that. And they're eating it up while they in her rectum, just eating it up like they really getting something and can't even comprehend because they gone. That you in the rectum of Babylon, even though it's a system, you in her rectum. And you having a hard time because you don't know no way out. You've been in there just that long. So back to what I was saying. In Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13, Ahiah is telling Abraham how his seed is going to go into captivity for 400 years. First of all, I want you all to let you know, it is not the seed of eternal he's talking about. He's talking about the seed of the flesh. It's going in to a land. And then listen to this. While you all wants to say something to Deborah, don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. Because you all in the dark. You're lost. You're lost. Here Sister Deborah is in Genesis 15. Genesis 15, the first book. This is how long. This is how long. I'm not in Deuteronomy 28. This is how long Ahiah had in mind. Because heaven has already locked you up and locked you down. When he chose you as a people, guess what? He chose you to go through all that you're going through. He chose you, look at Abraham in the book of Genesis. Knocked out. Abraham knocked out in this vision. He was in the vision. Now he knocked out. What did it say? Abraham in Genesis 15. And when the sun was down, when the sun gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, like at Adam in the garden. A deep sleep fell upon Abraham, just like Adam in the garden. Now watch this here. And even though Abraham is asleep, guess what happened? And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. That was to the point of death. Ahiah knocked him out real good, just to tell him what's in 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of assurance that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Wait a minute, hold up, Father Yah. Hold up, Father Yah. Abraham was knocked out, wasn't it, Father Yah? He was knocked out. You would never in your life get a Hebrew Israelite man nor a woman. I ain't even thinking about the women, because they the silly women he talks about that's teaching. But not a man who run around here in this newfound religion, got a church, got an academy, got a school, on these corners, talking stupid, silly, and ignorant. Do y'all know when these men are talking this way, do you know that's against Ahiah? They're profaning his name and who he is. They disrespecting him when they out there clowning like that. Saying all these type of, even, what's that Dow's pastor get on that pulpit in the sanctuary saying all kind of profanity He said, you become a new creature when the Ruach HaKodesh come in you. All things supposed to pass away. Wait a minute, bro. Why are y'all up on the pulpit cursing? Every word coming out your mouth is profanity. Wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? This shows you these people are not becoming new creatures in a higher. They the same old ones that was in the beginning. But this is the key to what I'm saying. Abraham was knocked out. That's the only way my father could tell him anything. That's the only way my father Ahia could tell him anything. Okay, then he began to tell him what he needed him to know. Now watch this here. In verse 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I, hallelujah, hallelujah, judge. So do that mean we got to get up and start cranking up and forming a religion and trying to battle back with them? No, said Ahia. That's why the judgment's still on us, and that's why the fire has been kindled underneath our feet. That's why these men got the hate spirit that's beyond perpetual hate on their nation birthers. That's why they killing their brothers left and right. Oh, you got a piece of gum? No. Pow, I shoot you. That's how bad it is. And y'all walking around talking about they bothering us. Trying to protect Kanye, trying to protect him. And don't even know you need to get your stupid tail somewhere and try to protect yourself in the spirit realm. Okay, now watch this. Now he said in 14, Genesis 15 and 14, and also the nations whom they shall serve will I. No, we gonna do it, Father, y'all. We got to fight back. We got to build our communities. We got to do this and we got to fight back. We got to do this to them and do this. No, Father, yeah, I know you told Abraham back in Genesis, but we're going to fight back. We got to come together. We got to come together and put our money together. We got to spend money around each other. We got to support one another. We got to do this and we got to do this. Hold up. Let me give you I'm going to give you a big treat right here. Ahia spoke this in the beginning, in Genesis, what he got planned for you. You see how Sister Deborah told you you've been cutting up from the floor up since the beginning? Since the beginning. Let me tell you how deep it is. He assigned everything to happen to you before the foundation of the world. And still chose you to bring the Messiah down. Because he said you need some serious help. You are the people who going to need a Messiah. You're going to need somebody to die for you all. Because you are some sick people. And whether you know that you are or not, that's on you. It don't matter. It's over. It's finished. That means the ways that you're trying to orchestrate to make a religion and make people believe in you and see you to be this and all that. We the people, we this and we that. Well, why ain't y'all on four corners of Chicago gang banging each other? On the corners representing Ahia. And all the camps, they fight against each other. You got a church on this side and a church on that side. They can't even get along. But we the people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you the sick people that was orchestrated before the foundation of the world. Because he knew you's a sick people. You're going to need some help. I'm going to have to send some of my the angels down to sacrifice. To be the sacrifice for all y'all's crap. Matter of fact, only mine that's of me going to come back. A small remnant. Now, here he says in 15, we still in Genesis chapter 15 and verse 15, and thou shalt go to thy father in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. He's talking to Abraham. Tell me which one of y'all gonna live past 60. You see what I'm saying? That's how bad it is. Everybody claiming all kind of sickness and illness and didn't even know. He said, you don't know how to follow rules. We are a people. You know what rebellion is? And disobedience? Those are people who don't know how to follow rules. Ahia have set covenant for us. He have set so many things for us. And each time he look at it, he see the horror of our mindset. So he said, I tell you what, I let them come out all the time. I destroy their butts all the time. This time, they ain't coming out with any sense because they ain't got none. Praise the mighty Yah. Okay, and we're going to get there. And he telling Abraham why he's in a deep sleep. I call it knocked out to the point of death. Verse 16, Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Anamites is not yet full. Okay. Now here, let me see which one is this here. 13. Okay, it says 14. I did 14. Okay. So I want you to see verse 18. Ahiah is forever making covenant with David, nor he made a covenant with, he made it one with Abraham. He made another covenant. So I want y'all to understand, Ahiah is a one who loves to make covenants with those that are he have sealed, have branded with righteous faith and belief. So he makes a covenant with them that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So listen to the covenant. We still in Genesis 15 and 18. In that same day, Ahiah made a covenant with Abraham, saying, until thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt until the great river, the river Ephraim. Now I want to tell you Ephraim, but let me tell y'all something. When they get their tail, this is why I was saying, your history, your tail somewhere and sit down. Here it is, 99 billion of Negroes that calls themselves Hebrew Israelites, whether they know they are in any other part of the world or not, they still lost here without a cause. Why? Here he told them. See, you know how they used to say when they didn't let us read, they didn't want us to know how to read, and they didn't give us a Bible, and they didn't want us to learn how to read. Guess what? Ahiah went, when I did. I'm going to be honest with you, because that's the type of person I am. I went before the Father. I said, wait a minute, hold up, Father, something wrong. I got something to ask you in the classroom. Something don't make no sense. And when I get like that, Ahiah shoot straight in with truth. I went to telling him something wrong, Father, because we came over here on slave ships. What had happened to him in us, or him in the midst of us? We knew that he parted the Red Sea. We knew so much of what he's done, giving us the land, all the land that he had said he had given us. What's this deal that our fathers, this is showing you where the error is at, our forefathers didn't instill it to us or in us while we traveled in the boats or in the ships, while we was on the land suffering and having to stay on that land. A lot of people don't want to believe that the fact that before you got over here, that's the only thing the Hebrew Israelite ride on, the ships that brought them over here. Baby, who had you before then? Because they had seeds, they were seizing your land, and you ran everywhere, right into the hands of the African. And you in full denial. Our men are in full denial to claim it. You see, it's sad. And that's why the Africans have all these different dark cages where they held you to sell you over to everybody coming over the world to get your tail. And let women, men, and children sit in their feces and not feed them, not give them anything, treated them like dogs. Not worse than dogs. Before the ship took them to the four corners. That shows you the sickness of the Hebrew Israelite mindset. It's gone. And it didn't go today. It's been gone. Because and when they came up with this Hebrew Israelite movement, I said, these men are gone. They don't know no righteous, no spirit and truth, no light. They don't know anything. So they tell you what they think they know. They do have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding in their flesh. That means their emotions, their personal opinion, and their feelings get caught up in their teaching. And that's what they teach you on. No spirit and truth. No light in their message. Just what they have in their flesh. Now, listen to what the Father said. So what I learned in verse 18, the covenant that Ahiah made with Abraham, do you all know that that covenant was fulfilled? It was fulfilled once before. We were on our promised land. Yes, we had lots of land. And the more I see Israel and Jordan and Jerusalem, I said, these little pinnados, Then the Father was showing me this right here. The covenant was, I give this land from the river of Egypt, which is the Nile River, until the great river, the river of, am I saying it? Euphrates. I said right 1 minute. Ephraim. And that river alone goes a mighty long ways. That means wherever that river is, in between the Nile River and where that's surrounded is all the land. All the land that belonged to the Hebrew Israelites. And they've been claiming Jerusalem and Israel. You see what I'm saying? And the Nile River goes around and it goes straight through Egypt. Not through Egypt, just a very tiny part. And it goes to Iraq. And it goes through Turkey a little bit, where you can see if that's our land, then that's why it could possibly be the 7 churches, because it goes through there, up in Turkey, a little part, just a little part. And it goes to, what's that, Syrian. It goes through there. So you showing why. Now, this is what a lot of our Negro men don't know, because they run around here chasing the history of the flesh and forsaking 100 the history of the spirit. But it matches stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience, never wanting to follow rules. So what I learned to maybe go to set, that's too much, is I always knew that Iraq had something to do with our land, trying to take over it. You see? So Iraq had a part in it, and all over in that area, Syrian, they had a part in it. That was our land. That's not their land. They are in the majority of a large piece, Iraq, of the land that was given to us. Okay? Right here in Genesis 15 and 18. So while we acting a monkey about flesh history, spirit and truth history, we know nothing. That's why I said we messed up. We gone. Now I was saying we gone 98. Now I think we gone 100. Because what I see now is way beyond what I saw 6 months ago. It's really bad. Now let's go on to complete what has happened. What the Father wants me to do with this lesson, he wants me to let you know that you all have taken his word and did it again. You all have disrespected him. You all have dishonored him. Okay? You all try your best of your best to belittle him so that you can look high and be someone that the people can come on the devil platform to your plate and eat from it. So you fed the people lies. The same people that stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience. So that's why they ate from your plate. Because they don't know how to follow rules. They don't know how to be obedient to the Father in any shape, form, or fashion. They don't know how to take heed to what is spirit and truth. They don't know nothing about where the light is. I want to find it. They don't care. So in Deuteronomy 28, he wants me to say to you that this is what they've been doing since the beginning of time. Why would you say that, Deborah? Why would Ahiah put Abraham down to the point of sleep to put in him what he's going to do before the people did, before the people got to Deuteronomy 28? See, he had put it at the beginning. The Father had already told us and warned us way from the beginning. So we always knew our ugliness amongst our forefathers. But the fathers yesterday is like unto the fathers yesterday. They in full denial that they are some ugly, whoremongers, disobedient, disrespectful, dishonoring, profaning his name, rebellion, and stiff-necked people. You were the same ones. You came out. Let me tell you what he's saying to me now. Tell them they came from the heavens like that. He said you came from heavens like that. That's why it was prophesied early to Abraham what was going to take place with you, because you were already that ugly person in the heaven. So Abraham got a vision look at what the seeds of the stars and the sand of the sea as his seed was going to be like. Okay? Now, this is the seed of the flesh he's speaking of. This is not the seed of eternal life. That's why I say to you all, going to the promised land is not going to give you eternal life. You see what I'm saying? You're not going into eternal life because you're going over to the promised land. You see? That was a different promise to a seed. The bloodline seed of Abraham. Okay? And then you have the other seed that came down in belief, faith, and righteousness, whom is the promise of eternal life. And that's why the lamb was slaughtered before the foundation of the world. Before Abraham got down here, the lamb was already slaughtered and his name was already written in the Lamb Book of Life. Okay? So when the lamb, when Yeshua came down to do the full sacrifice, that's what he was coming to die, to redeem all of those back until a higher that was the seed that was in the soil. He's redeeming those who had the seed in the soil because of Satan deceiving the whole world. He deceived them as well. But they had belief, faith, and righteousness in them, in which Yeshua came down with to die just to redeem them back on course, okay, through the blood sacrifice that was sacrificed before the foundation of the world. Everything was done before the foundation of the world. What happens when someone get the fullness of what took place before the foundation of the world? They gain liberty and freedom in a higher. You gain liberty and freedom in a higher when you learn what took place before the foundation of the world. Nobody can touch it. Nobody. Okay? Now, let's go to where he wants me to start. And we're going to go Deuteronomy 28, because this is what this is about. In Deuteronomy 28, he wants me to show you that Deuteronomy 28, we're going to start with, he wants to start with 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Everything before 15 is showing you how much the Creator felt for us, cared for us, all the mercy and grace, everything he done, he just showing you. Why did Ahiah do that when he already knew that you wasn't going to follow it? He had his T's and I's. He had his T's crossed and his I's dotted. Why? Because in Genesis came before Deuteronomy. So that shows you that he already knew you wasn't going to follow it. He was able to give it to your father Abraham because he knew you weren't going to follow it. Even to today, 2022. He knew you ain't following nothing according to righteous, according to faith, according to belief. He knew you ain't doing right. He knew it before the foundation of the world. See how he rumbled? Get all his T's crossed and I's dotted before the foundation of the world. He already knew all that. That's why he's able to prophesy and say how it's going to go. Okay, and then you find the heathens. Now watch this here. This is why I say the Hebrew Israelites are gone, mentally gone, because the heathens chases the history of Ahiah, while the Hebrew Israelite ignorance chase the history of the heathens. That's how sick they are. Tell me, ain't that stupid? Listen to what I say. The heathens and the Gentiles chase the history of Ahiah. The Hebrew Israelites, man, chase the history of the heathens. Which one of them is more potent? The history of Ahiah. Because the history of the heathens goes to the ground in which it comes from. It's vain and vast. It's worthless. For what the heathens do and the Gentiles do, there's nothing new under the sun in what the way they do things. So we don't need to chase how they've been doing stuff. Ahiah told you, but you didn't take his word. You took out of his word, made you a religion, and left his word sitting here. For the whole multitude of the stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient is standing around talking you got so many men on that devil platform talking trash and don't have no spirit and truth. Nothing in the light. Nothing they talking about in the light. Well, we need to come together. We need to do this. How are you going to do anything when you have forsaken everything that came from the Father to your bosom? Everything. You forsaken it all through your stiff-necked rebellion and through your disobedience. You have forsaken. Okay? Now, here we go. Let me cut this here off. I'll be right back. Okay, here I go. Now, here we go. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. This is where Ahiah wants you to understand how your own nation, men, slandered, smeared, destroyed, ruined, executed, threw away Deuteronomy 28. But yet, they founded their religion on it after they threw it away. Because they didn't want no part of it but the ships and the word oppress and slavery. That's it. And they took the rest of it and threw it in trash. Now, that's why the Hebrew Israelite men are running around here talking about searching their history. Because they too darn ignorant to realize you searching the history of the heathens and Gentiles. And the heathen and Gentiles has searched Ahiah's history, know who you are. You still chasing your tail, trying to find out who you are. And the heathens and Gentiles already knew who you are. You see what I'm saying? They even making movies of who you are. And you run around here chasing your darn tail in the flesh. And their history. Why you want to know their history? You see how sick you are? Because you want to be uplifted. You want to be boast. You want to show these men that I know more than you know. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's what it's all about. It's trying to show one another that I got more information than you have. I know this one. I got receipts. I know this one. You don't know nothing. You still walking in the midnight hour, lost without a cause. You don't even have a flashlight. Okay? So, Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Ahiah thy Yah, to observe, to do all these commandments and his status, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, I want y'all to get a piece of paper and a pencil. Now, this just shows you how sick people are. Okay? Now, this is the prophecy that he gave Abraham back in Genesis in the beginning. Okay? So, how is it that he told us in Deuteronomy, which is also in the beginning, that I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake you. Overtake means you ain't going to get out of it. You ain't going to beat it. You ain't going to rule it. You ain't going to orchestrate it. It ain't going to go your way. That's a powerful statement. Overtake thee. But you running around here saying they doing something to you. You got to make a lie. Just because you poured out the ships oppressed and slavery out of Deuteronomy 28, and you ran with it and started a newfound religion called a Hebrew Israelite religion, and then you left all the rest of it because you didn't want to accept it. That's what a stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient spirit is. So why do you have different people online teaching this thing about white and black marrying, about the Sabbath, about everything else, when you have not obeyed this at all? And he told you way before today, way before you came over to the ships, way before he took you off your land, he had been warning you, which is a thousands and thousands of years. He's been warning you as a people that that's what's going to be the number one last stage of destroying you. You think he's weak? You think the Father that weak? That's what these men think. They think he's so weak, he has to do it their way. He had to route their way around to get it the way they want to say. That's how he told me they have totally disrespect Deuteronomy 28. And that was him all the time. That was the same thing he said to Abraham before the back in the beginning. So you see how long he's been pleading with these same people? And then you all get around here and say that, oh, no, he ain't going to do nothing to us. We ain't going to get destroyed. He coming to save us. Wake up. If he said he's going to do it, he's going to do it. He's about what he's saying. He's saying what he's about. Who are you? Just because you don't have no respect for him, because you don't know him. Because if you know him, you will have the spirit of fear of who he is. And that he is not one that you can buckle up to, or you can break down a profane name or disrespect and dishonor. No. He let you do it. Because he said, Deborah, they lucky grace and mercies in the midst. They lucky grace and mercies in the midst. So here we go. What I was asking you to write this down. Because he said here, I commanded this day in Deuteronomy 28, thousands of years ago, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Take a look at where you at in this book versus where you at today. Thousands of years. And before then, before Deuteronomy, other hundreds and hundreds of years to Abraham. So while you chasing your history of the heathens and Gentiles and what they did, what they said, and how they did things, Ahia likes to say to you, how could you be so foolish and wicked and evil to chase the things of the heathens and Gentiles and not chase spirit and truth? While the heathens and Gentiles has already searched out the word of Yah, know who you are, know who you were when you came out, and you still chasing your tail saying we the people. If that's not showing something wrong with you, you out there killing each other as brothers. If that's not showing something wrong with you, and these Hebrews, Israelites sitting around here trying to support the rapper, sitting their stupid dumb tails around. This man is supposed to be holding $1 billion, and he ain't giving y'all crap. But you think it's about what he's saying. How in the rat's behind what he said? Override what my father has already said. How dumb can that be? If that's not dumb, I don't know what is. How can Kanye, I got it right that time, how can Kanye override what Ahia has already said? That's showing you the Hebrew Israelites is a very sick, mental human species. Something wrong with them. It always been. They were like that when he sent them down. Abraham was warned. Here it is in Deuteronomy. But we got to wait for Kanye to tell us why he hold 10 billion and ain't gonna give you even a blink of an eye. But you want to protect Satan and his. You see how sick they are? Or how you said, there's going to be a time they're going to say, yeah, here he is. He's out here. Go. We seen him. He's out here. What he's talking about, the power of Yah, Christ. They're going to say, Christ is here. Go out. He said, go not out. Go not out there. But you, these Hebrew Israelite men, take their dumb tails right out there to Kanye, saying he telling them a thing or two, that we the people, you stupid fools. You blind, sick, weak dogs. How dare you profane and dishonor and disrespect our highest word, telling you what's going to happen to you. But you want to wait until Kanye tell you. Kanye couldn't tell the world that he's the people. The people knew he was the world. So that shows you he's gone. Because if you read, they already knew. Wow. Hebrew Israelite men chasing their tails around in a circle, trying to prove who they are, when the heathens and Gentiles already know who you were when you came over. How tell me that's not slow? See, they came here mentally. Hebrew Israelite men, they came here mentally. They came here mentally disturbed. Down on the earth, mentally disturbed. Now, Kanye come up in the year 2022 to tell you who you are, or tell the heathens who they are, who he is, as if they don't know. Do you know the heathens know that we are gone? They know that we are gone. Sister Deborah know it. You all lost. You all are totally lost. But wait a minute, hold up for a minute. Watch what he getting ready to do. And then see how you want to run behind those tails that's lost and chasing their tail. Talking about some doing history. How can Kanye tell you, Kanye, I think I said it right. Kanye tell you something because he spoke that you the people. You see how sick these men are? You mean to tell me you that low to look at what Kanye said and put him on a pedestal when a Kanye can't tell the heathens and Gentiles that he is the Hebrew and he is the true Jews? They already know it. Gone. Hebrew Israelites, the men are gone. I wouldn't follow not one. Ever. I wouldn't follow. It wouldn't now come up that I would follow. I wouldn't follow not one of these men. They gone. It's 100 now. They gone. When you can get these old heads to sit here and these people to sit here and try to support Kanye, telling the Jews, telling the nationwide television, we are the children. And Ahia saying, look at them, Deborah. Look how sick they are. You see the deepness, he said, of their sickness. I told Abraham, I told them in Deuteronomy right here in the book. That shows you all, every Hebrew Israelite woman and man, that you all have disrespected and dishonored the curse in which Ahia has put on you. And you decided to follow the flesh of man and be without any wisdom and knowledge in the spirit and no understanding in the spirit. Because right here does it rest. What Kanye is saying, it's already known. It was known. That's the level. Ooh, Father, yeah, I ain't gonna sleep tonight. I didn't know the father was gonna go this deep. Kanye wasn't even on my list, but Ahia just showed me something. He said, look on there, Deborah. I done told them, I commanded thee this day that all these curses shall come upon thee, and it will overtake thee. There's no doubt about it. Verse 16, Deuteronomy 28, verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city. Cursed shall thou be in the field. Y'all sending a statement. Cursed shall thou be thy basket, and curse and thy store. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of your body and the fruit of thy land, in the increase of thy kin, and the flock of thy sheep is cursed, y'all. Your kins, see that? Curse. Your family, your flock. Now listen to this. Cursed shall thou be when thou cometh in. Many ways. When you're born, you're going to be cursed into a plate of people that's already cursed. Into a captivity. You're coming in cursed. Now watch this here. And he says, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. That can mean two things. When you're born, you're going to be cursed. You're going to die. When you go out, you're going to be cursed. When you come into the land of your captives, you're going to be cursed. And when you leave out, you're going to be cursed. He's sending so much power, so much information. And this is what he's saying to me. Do you see? See, he's teaching me something as I'm speaking to you all. The deepness of how I've been running my mouth. Talking about these men, 85% gone up here. These men, 98%. And I'm telling you 100 we're going to stick with y'all. Our people are gone. Totally gone. Okay? So you can walk around here like ain't nothing wrong with you. You're gone. Because you have sunk in to all this that they have done and refused and reject and disrespected a higher. When he placed that curse on you and told you, you turned around and told him, no, you ain't. They're doing it. They did it. They're doing this to us. They doing this. We can't do this. They won't let us do this. They won't let us do this. And we can't get this. I don't know why we don't have this and we don't have this. We need to work with each other. We need to work with each other. We need to buy from one another. We need to, what for? What for? The Father said you are doomed coming in and going out. So how you going to override a highest curse? How can you override my Father's curse upon you? You know how they doing it? Want me to tell you how they trying to do it? They're trying to search some other trash to come and put before you on YouTube, which is their history. They searching the heathens and Gentile history. That's how sick our Hebrew Israelite men, elderly and young, are gone. They're searching the history of the heathens and Gentiles instead of understanding the history that the Father have set before us. It was a time when we can say they didn't want us to read. We didn't have a book. We didn't have it. How you say, see, Deborah, it has nothing to do with what they didn't have. Never did. Never did. It's just who they are. Now watch this here. So he said, curse when thou cometh in and curse when thou goeth out. This is a higher. Now this is where he wants me to really expound on. Verse 20, and a higher shall send upon thee curses, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thy hands unto to do until thou be destroyed. Until thou be destroyed. That's what they didn't do. They lied. This Deuteronomy 28 has been a supporter of the Hebrew Israelite lying, wicked and evil. And because you all are supporting them and what they're doing, Ahia wants me to tell you, the fire is kindled in the midst of the judgment on you as well as them. Because no one willing to stand up and say, you all have lied and misled us as a people. We have lied on the Father. We have lied on his curse. We have profaned his name. We have disrespected him in every shape, form, and fashion. Why? Because he told Abraham. Here he told you in Deuteronomy. He told Jeremiah. He told Ezekiel. He told Isaiah. And here we are still sitting in the curse, saying they did it. So what do you say? When you say something they're doing, guess what Father say? You're saying to him, you ain't doing nothing. They doing. You didn't curse me. They did it. So Ahia showed me another form today, just talking to you all, that see, Deborah, see how potent it is, that mindset. So that's why it's okay to say they go on 100. Because you should know that they go on 100 once they continue to get on these devil platform and never tell anything righteous, never speak anything just, never speak any light, never speak spirit and truth to none of their people. None whatsoever. They won't speak it. They won't tell you. Now they try to form this thing to where they can chase history of the white man, of the heathens and Gentiles. And then all this history is right before us. And you down there chasing history of the heathens and Gentiles so you can come back and crank up some more lies when Deuteronomy 28 have told all the story. Now, he said here in 20, until thou art destroyed. And then verse 24, Ahia shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. That's in some of those areas where they were taking where it's extra heat and the land is dried up. And that's where I was trying to get y'all to understand. He's been doing this a long time. And we're sitting around thinking that it was when we got to these ships and we got transported. No, baby, we were somewhere else before we got over here that started the curse. You see? So we've been in this curse for some time. Before we even got over here, they was a part of the curse as well. Now listen to here. Deuteronomy 28 and 24, for Ahia shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust, and from heaven shall it come down upon thee till thou be destroyed. Okay. Now, 28. Verse 28, Ahia shall smite thee with madness. Y'all thought I was lying. Ahia shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And that's exactly what's going on. They can't see. They are crazy mentally. That's why you see our people out there doing stuff that they're doing. They can't see that they are destroying their own women that bring forth their nation because they're gone, y'all. They always gone. That's why Dials can go out and get as many wives he want and then want y'all to think that it's okay to have all these wives to support his flesh enjoyment. Deuteronomy even talk about that. So everything is in Deuteronomy 28. So they can't escape Abraham being put down to the point of death, warned that we would enter into this land. Then Deuteronomy came up and bounced on it, and then he gave me verses in Leviticus 26. So it's been going on. Then Ezekiel, something going on, y'all. Something going on. Something is showing that they deceive you all purposely. They're now, this is what I keep trying to tell y'all, they're now chasing the history of the Gentiles and the heathens and what they have done. That doesn't make any sense. As if Ahia did not warn us and tell us. Now watch this here. Deuteronomy 20, I did 28. Deuteronomy 33. The fruit of thy hand and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. Verse 34, so that thou shalt be mad. They're mad again for the sight of what thou shalt see. There we go again. Now watch this here. That's 34. And verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Okay? Now, because thou hearken not unto the voice of Ahia, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. So here he is. He's not telling you to go try to keep them now. He's saying that you never did. So the curse was put on you. I'm not going to uplift that curse, y'all. That's why I was saying in another message, we can't come out of it. It's got an end game. And here he said, until you are destroyed in Deuteronomy 28, verse 45. Why? Because thou hearken not unto my voice. Always and never did. Okay. Then you go here to, that was 45. Then you go to 48, and it says, in 48, it says what? In 48, therefore shall thou serve thy enemy, which are higher shall sin against thee, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until you are what? Destroyed. You ain't getting out of here without being destroyed. That's where you at today. You gone. You all are gone, men and women, but majority of the men gone. Y'all lied on y'all. Y'all lied and continue to lie. He's been giving you this warning since Genesis. And you all have picked up the book, and searched other book, precept, line, little here, and can't even see that you are destroyed. Coming out of here, you're going to be destroyed. While you in here, you're going to be destroyed. You already destroyed. That's why your mindset can't tell the men to stop killing and being destructive and wicked and evil. Instead, you say, we got to come together. We the people. We need to buy from one another. We need to do each other right. For what? If you can't do the creator right, you ain't going to do one another right. So what are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? Now watch this here. That was verse 44. Listen to 48. In verse 48, it says, therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which are higher shall sin against thee. This is where he says you all have disrespected him. You disrespected his curse that he put on you. You disrespected and dishonored his name. You disrespect him as the creator. You disrespect everything he have said, even to Abraham. You disrespected it all as normal. Because here it is, we live in this, and you still in disbelief and a liar and disrespecting the truth. Okay, now, and what does he say? This is what he did. He's telling us over and over until they put a yoke around your neck to destroy you. So you gone, whether you think you got it going on, you are gone. Only thing holds you up is spirit and truth. That's the only thing. So you all out there, keep on thinking you got it together. Sister Deborah gonna go. I already accept the fact what he said. I'm gone. But I thank him for the Ruach HaKodesh that's holding my spirit up, because throughout my life, he has been teaching me how to get my flesh under the subjection to my spirit. And that I do know. But I'm gone just like everybody else. And I ain't got no shame in my game, because his word is truth. And that's all I want to lean on. And I want to believe everything he said. I don't want to take what he said and make it a lie, like 99% of you all have done. You have made his word a lie. When you have supported these men and these women and teaching this word and letting them build up a tower of lies. Disrespect. What you mean disrespect, Deborah? Because he didn't set the ground. The whole ground was leveled and built up on what's going to happen to us. And we sat and tear it down day by day and said, the heathens did it. They keep doing this and they keep doing this. They done this. They done this. To where our hate is just as great as their perpetual hate. And we too ignorant to see it. That's why women can get on here and talk about white women marrying black men marrying white women, because they can't see Deuteronomy 28. They can't see nothing that he has prophesied to us. They can't see what he said to Abraham. Because if they could, they'll say, well, why are we chasing the heathens and the Gentiles' history? Why are we trying to get them to believe who we are? And we are who Ahia have already said we are. Because we call him the lie so we can live the truth. In our truth. Okay? In verse 61. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will Ahia bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. You ain't getting out of it, y'all. You are gone. So you running around here talking about reparations. You running around here talking about purging. You running around here talking about the shot and the vaccine and the mark of the bead. And what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference when it comes down to you all. It doesn't make any difference when it comes down to us. Ahia said we have totally executed 400 years, even past 400 years, and as wicked and evil as we were when we first came over and before when we was over in our land. So what he wants you to do is go to Ezekiel 36. This is where he's going to show you that it's a sad thing and how we want to make everything else a lie. And in the process, we're willing to make him a lie. But he said in Ezekiel how he's want to show us something here in Ezekiel. In Ezekiel 36, he wants me to show you how your forefathers and you know who you all are. You just wants to make a higher a lie. That's what he wants me to tell you. You just so busy trying to make him out a lie so you don't have to live any type of truth of the whole matter of anything. You want to live and die in lies. Okay, in Ezekiel 36, he says here, now listen to this. He said to Ezekiel, son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land, they defiled it by their own way. Where was the heathen then? Where was the Romans then? Who was bothering you then? Who was doing something to you? Ahijah is saying this to Ezekiel. They defiled it by their own way and by their own doing. Ahijah is saying that, see, this is what they were doing, you guys. So you run around here chasing your tail, talking about history. You got receipts. You need to take that receipt and watch and wipe your rear end, because you messing out a bunch of crap to a bunch of weak-minded men. That's how bad it is. Chasing the history of flesh, of heathens and Gentiles, when the history Ahijah has laid it out. Every T crossed, every I dotted. And you want to make him a lie so you can go around here and be boost, pride-minded, self-centered, self-motivated, ego. That's what's wrong with the men today. The elders as well as the young ones. They want to be somebody. Because Ahijah said here, you are nobody. So get with the program. And when you like that, then you would think you would turn to somebody who created all things. See, it's a lot of reason why we should be turning to spirit and truth and the light and trying to find the narrow gate. Why? Because we did everything else against him. Now we should want to live in what some type of righteous mindset or feeling. You see? No, they don't. They want to go chase history of what the heathen and Gentiles did back in the days. Do you think that Ahijah is caught up in that? When he didn't just told you everything they did, I did. So why are you chasing their history and what they did if I told you I did it? You said, if you don't think that's wicked and evil, I don't know what is. He told Abraham why we were, how we're going to be over here. Deuteronomy, thousands of years told us why we're going to be here. Instead, we decide to make a higher a lie in the midst of the curse and make it about what the heathens and Gentiles is doing. It reminds me of the females that get on here talking about black women marrying white men wearing black women, all this old crap. What difference does it make on the outer man? It's what's in the inner man Ahijah seeks after. When he gave them the Torah and gave them the covenants and the commandments and the statutes, and he was giving them something because they were such a sick people. He figured I have to set up something they can follow. They so wicked and evil and dumb. I have to set something before them so they can have something to follow. And everything Ahijah set before them. Guess what they did, you all? They couldn't follow it. They wouldn't follow it. They were still that same disobedience, stiff-necked rebellion. And while y'all running around here thinking it's funny, you don't know where your children and you are actually from. A stiff-necked rebellion and a disobedient people that don't have the heart of Ahijah, the creator. They just have the heart of wicked and evil doing. So what happens? Here it is. He done told them what you searching for, what you looking for was done to you because I orchestrated it. I set it up from the floor up. And I told you step by step. Instead, you went in Deuteronomy, only pulled out 2 verses, built your own homemade religion, and then turned around and done away with the rest of Deuteronomy 28. So the people would never know the end game of the curse is where they were to lose their minds and be destroyed, mind-wise. And once they're at that fullness, at a certain percentage, gone, a higher will deliver. But he ain't going to deliver you because you're playing a game within yourself. And you gone and not recognize. See, we never saluted the curse. We went against him. That's why these men are searching their history, trying to tell me, I got receipts. I got my receipt. I can tell you they did. You sick people. The receipt is here, right before your eyes. The truth of the whole matter is right here. He said he did it, you said they did it. He said he did it, you said they did it. He said he did it, you said they did it. And the father said to him, Deborah, you see, I laid it all out to him. I knocked Abraham totally out, even let him know. I put it in Leviticus. I put it in every chapter there is. I made sure they were aware. It's been in Deuteronomy for thousands of years. They read up on it, they still looking at it. Here it is today, Deborah. They got the book and they free. They free to read and to see and to hear. And they still at stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient and refuse to follow rules. And they're whoremongers. They self-centered. They so pride-minded and boasted because they want to be recognized. They want to be looked at. They wanted to be included. They don't want spirit and truth. They don't want righteous. So while they chasing the history of heathens and Gentiles, the heathens and Gentiles saying, yep, they gone. They are gone. But guess what, y'all? The heathens and Gentiles don't know something that Sister Deborah know, that she's trying to let you all know. See, what the Gentiles didn't know was the moment we are destroyed mentally, gone, then that's when a higher is going to take heads up out of here. You see? Because the curse has to have an end. It can't linger on. It has to have an end. You see? And the end is not saying when you when he take you up out, you still ain't gonna be up here. Because some things are going to happen getting you to the promised land. Okay, but he's going to restore you at the promised land. You see? So you're gonna still have that not here. Like you have today, whether you think you do. Because I'm going to set an example. There are people right here feel they can't live unless they take all the medicine the doctor said. If the doctor said they got their ears are deaf, they're going to believe everything the doctor say. If he said your feet need to be cut off, they're going to get their feet cut off. If he said you need to have surgery, they're going to have surgery. If they say you need to take this and you need to take this, they're going to take it. That shows you that they're gone. They don't believe nothing y'all say. You see? Their faith is only in what they're willing to handle. After they can't handle it, their faith that they think they have is not there. Someone doing a lot of shooting. You see what I'm saying? So here in Deuteronomy, Ahiah said that they have cursed him. They have went up against him for the umpteenth time. And this is why he said he's not coming back, y'all. He's not coming back. He's sending you the prophet to tell you the mystery of Deuteronomy, to tell you the truth of the matter. If you don't listen to them, you just out there in midnight hour, never finding the narrow gate, never seeing the light, never knowing spirit and truth. Okay? So what he was saying in Ezekiel, listen to this. He said to Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 27, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and their own doing. Now, where was the heathens then? Where was the Gentiles then? Where were the Romans? Where were the Catholics? Where were all of those that we right now chase, said they bothering us? They did that. Where are they? Where are they? How you said we was in our own promised land. And look what he said we did. Now watch this here. Their ways was before me, how you say, as an uncleanness of a removed woman. Verse 18, wherefore I poured my fears upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for the idol, their idols wherein they had polluted it. They had polluted the land. They worshiped idols, and they began to kill each other. That was in the promised land, y'all, flowing with milk and honey. So how are you men gonna have the audacity to turn around and make where you at to be the worst of the worst? When Ahiah said, this is the judgment I put on you, this curse fits. It fits you like a glove, because this is what you've been doing since the beginning of time. So that's why this was the final curse upon the house of Israel. This was the final curse because of all the other times, all the other things that you've done. This was the final, and he did an excellent job. I commend him. You know, I salute this curse in which he has, which he has allowed. Now listen to this, verse 18. Now, verse 19, and this is what he said to Ezekiel. And I scattered them among the heathens, and they were dispersed throughout the countries according to their way and according to their doing. I judged them. What is it that you don't understand, weak men? How weak must you be? If you are lost here and destroyed here and you weak, what else must there be? Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25. Destroyed. Okay? Listen to this here. This is really sad. He said in verse 19, Ezekiel 36 and verse 19, and I scattered them among the heathens, and they were dispensed throughout the countries according to their way and according to their doing. I judged them. Telling you of what he did to you in Deuteronomy 28. And when they entered into the heathens, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. We did that, y'all. We get in front of the heathens and act a monkey. And then we wonder why they think we 3% of human or whatever. And why they want to treat us like animals and dogs. Have you realized we are conducting ourselves that way toward the Father? We have conducted ourselves like wild beasts and animals before the Father. Now listen to this here. And he said in verse 20, Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 20, and when they entered into the heathens, meaning indifferent to the lands where the ship led them off and they were scattered, he said, when we entered in the face of before the heathens, they went, they profaned my holy name when they said to them, these are the people of Ahiah and are gone forth out of his land. When the heathen said that to you, addressing you as the children of Yah, you turned around in their face and profaned and disrespected Yah. There it is. This is what the sick men that's on this devil platform runs from. They run from stuff like this. When he said women shall rule over you because those that had led you at one time, they caused you to error. See, they say that's women caused you to error. No, he said those that had led you before the women took over and the children was the way that they were. He said those that had led you caused you to error. See, they don't want to accept that. That's why they fight against women. They see Ahiah saying a lot of things about women and not giving them how would I say it? The thumbs down like they doing them. Ahiah give you the men the thumbs all the way down as far as it can go. And then he stomp on it. What did he say? In verse 20 of Ezekiel 36 and 20, and when they enter into the heathens, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. Watch this here. When they said, this is the heathen, when they said to them, oh, these are the children of the Most High Ahiah, and they have gone forth out of his land. Guess what we did? We got in his face, in the heathen's face, as we do all the time, licking they boots. Our men are good at that. We got in front of them and we disrespect and profane his holy name right in the face of the heathens. So that's why you wonder why the heathens don't have no respect for us. We never had respect for ourselves, but we want somebody else. How do you want to walk around here, all you men, with your pants hanging down, showing your rear end, and you want them to respect you? And you have never respect yourself, your wife, your mother, your father, and your children, but you want them to respect you. And what did the Father say in verse 21? Ezekiel 36 and 21. But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathens everywhere they went. See, every T is crossed, every dot is a dotted. Y'all shouldn't even be listening to me. That's just how much word is right here telling you everything. And everybody's searching somebody to tell them something. When all spirit and truth and the light is so bright. But everybody is constantly walking in darkness. Let me see what he's saying here. Ezekiel, let me see where I'm at. Oh, I'm almost done. Ezekiel 7. In Ezekiel 7 and 3. Now in the end come upon thee, I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to the ways, according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thy abomination. Now listen to here. He says, I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways. We are a people, Shahad of Judah, just the worst of the worst on the face of the earth. All you have to do is open your book from Genesis all the way to Revelation and see how many times he destroyed our body, killed us as a people by great numbers. No one on the face of the earth been killed and destroyed by Ahiah like the house of Israel. You see? But you the people, you his children. Come on now, talk to me. You can't. You can't. David turned around and killed his head man, smocked his head man, meaning killed his head man, and Ahiah told him, I tell you what, you got 3 charges. But when it all said and done, Ahiah was going to take the Israel people. 70,000 died with pestilence. So you thinking that he ain't going to destroy your mind in Deuteronomy 28? You think this being destroyed is something? When he killed your tail back then, he letting this here go. Because honestly, it ain't, to me, it ain't no big thing that we gone here. Because we've been gone since the book of Genesis. We ain't done nothing right since then. Now here he said he judges us according to our ways. And we don't feel we have no ways. But he knows there's some ways. There's some ways about us before the foundation of the world knew. There's a lot of ways. In verse 4, Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 4, and my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thy abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am Ahiah. He's talking to the house of Israel. You're going to do all these ways and have all these ways and think I'm just going to stand by and can let you continue to do it to the world end? You sicker than sick. You sicker than sick. I did Deuteronomy 28. And I'm tired of telling you I did it. Because you're a sick people. You have profaned me. You disrespect me. You dishonor me. It ain't going to have the audacity to blame everybody for the curse in which I put on you. And not only did I put it on you, I labeled it through every chapter telling you that I was going to do it for thousands of years. And now you got the ability to read it and see what I said. And here you go around still blaming the heathens. That's what's making the Hebrew Israelites, they're them gone here. That's why they're going back into their vomit, and they're going back and denying the book now. Like I try to tell y'all, they're trying to deny the book now. Everything in it is wrong. They always, who did Ahiah, to whom have Ahiah called to say that the Old Testament or the New Testament or Torah is not right, or this is not right and that's not right in there. They put this. Oh, you know what it is? When they chasing the heathens in the Gentile history, they want to blame everything on the history of the Gentiles, so they can't blame themselves for being the rottenness people on the face of the earth. Thank you, Father. Yeah, I think that is beautiful. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. Thou said Ahiah, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. You keep on playing with him, thinking that you're doing something, and you know you ain't doing nothing. You know, I sit back and I watch how people turn around and try to make me a lie, try to find fault in me. Baby, you know what? You better get a job. You better get a serious job, because you ain't gonna make me out on a lie. You'll never be able to make me out on a lie. You know, I'm about my Father's business, and my Father's business is about me doing his will in spirit and in truth. So on the lie you're going to make is yourself another liar, as always. So here in Ezekiel chapter 7, and it's beautiful because he just got to telling Ezekiel in 36. He tell Jeremiah, he tell Isaiah. These people have off to change. And you know what the sad part about it? Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah, Hosea, and all the way through is telling you that we are the sickest people on the face of the earth. Wicked and evil on the face of the earth. And we still deny that we are that, because he said Abraham's seed, children, because he given you the promised land. But he didn't tell you that you was included in eternal life, the other seed promise. See, that's what Abraham looking to the stars and being able to count them. He knew he couldn't. The sand of the sea, because all lives either gonna go in the lake of fire or in eternal life. Abraham was counted in. So it's us as a whole counted in. That means everybody gonna have the same thing Abraham had. The righteous, counted righteous, because he was branded righteous, branded belief, and branded faith. He's in there. He's in there. You know, and I tell you all, you better be careful. You better be careful out here trying to play a game. Okay, now the last verse is Leviticus 26. And that's it. And I'm out of here. It's a lot more, but I'm going to end that right there, because like he said, no matter what you teach them, Deborah, they're gone. But I like the idea of him just allowing me to teach. In Leviticus 26. Leviticus 26 and verse 13 and 14. 13 and 14 is Leviticus 26. I am Ahiah, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye shall not be there, that ye should not be their bondmen. And I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you go upright. See, he telling you, ain't nothing about you right. Ain't nothing about y'all knowing Negroes that's just and upright. Ain't nothing about you good. Anything good about you is what he put in you. And here he said in verse 13, in Leviticus 26 and verse 13, and made you go upright. See, Ahiah had to do that, because you are a rotten people from the level of the heavens. You talking about fallen angels. Baby, you off the chain beyond fallen angels. You see? But you don't want to accept that. You don't want to see that. You don't want no one to say that, because it's too much truth in it. Okay? Now, it says in verse 14, we in Leviticus 26 and verse 14, but if ye will not hearken unto me, and I will not do all these and do all these commandments. This is what he said. He was saying here that if you didn't hearken to him and do all these commandments, okay, even after he have made you right, upright, he knew already you're going to go back to the same stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience. A lot of these men never realize why you sitting here telling women to shut her mouth. Ahia done told you over and over, you're a stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient like your forefathers, not your foremother. See, they don't think of that. They don't think of stuff like that. Why is he always telling you all to do this, and do this? Because he knows that you are a people that's rotten to core. But you didn't get to be like that when you got down here. You were already like that. So let's go to the last verse. The same one is Leviticus 26 and 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and their iniquity of their fathers. See, because he's saying no matter what, you can try to escape it. But when you finish, it ain't going to be worth the dime because your forefathers still rest in you. And if you don't own up to it, there's no repenting in you, nowhere to be found. You see, because you can't repent for yourself and not for your father, because you came through the bloodline of that man there. His sin is in you. His wickedness is in you. Okay? So you got to repent for your Now listen to what he said. Leviticus 26 and verse 40. If thou shalt confess thy iniquity and the iniquity of thy fathers with thy trespasser, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary to me. So he said the sins of your forefathers. Never do he say foremothers. It's a lot of things he don't say that we done or we did. But the man today made us the worstest human being on the face of the earth. Our own nation of men have made us the worstest human beings on the face of the earth. And Ahia have made them to be the worst. And he called it out. Ahia have called it out. But see, this is how they get away with it. Something in their spirit knows that there's wicked and evil in them. But they call themselves taking it out and living it where they can hide if they translate that wicked and evil onto females. Because Ahia sees it in them. Okay, so here it is. He said, and their fathers' iniquity, if they would confess it. Now watch this here. Verse Leviticus 26 and verse 41. And that I also have walked contrary unto them and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their circumcision heart be humbled, and they then accept the punishment of their sin. See, this is what the problem is, y'all. You see, and this way in the beginning, y'all, in Leviticus, before even Deuteronomy. He's been talking to these same people, y'all, these same stiff-necked, rebellious men since the beginning of time. And they would never be able to show you one scripture where he's talking to a woman. That's why they always talk about Jezebel. Even the silly women that follow behind, not knowing what the Jezebel is. That's why they always talk about she's a Jezebel. But the Father ain't saying nothing about us women. And y'all too ignorant to see that. Too ignorant to see that. As ignorant as it is when the men said there's going to be one man to 7 women. What's going to be going on with that? What's this deal with one man to 7 women? It's because Ahia sending a message to the men. I'm going to destroy y'all tails. All the way down to 1 man to 7 women. And the name that the woman wanted to be called was holy. And Ahia tells her later on in the verses, and thou shalt be holy. Thou shalt be called the name holy. You see, that's what she was talking about. I want to be called what he's called, holy. Because he's called holy because he was the only one that Ahia had kept alive. And he branded him to be holy. And she said, we want to be called holy too. Ahia said, I purge you with the burning. I purge you. And now thou hast been made holy. See? It's so much stuff in there. And how Sister Deborah had to really kind of really get the worst of it is because I had to raise these children. And in the process of raising them, I realized I gave them my whole life. Everything was for them. I gave, and still ain't got sense. And still give. All myself, y'all. My time, my energy, my strength, my everything to them. And then you get nothing in return. You see? Don't see you to be worth nothing. No, I mean nothing. You see? A lot of things is invested in these men already. And these daughters as well, because they are the product of these males, these men. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept our men. Let me take that out. The Hebrew Israelite men have not realized and have not mastered the book under the Ruach. They have went and searched so many books all over the place, searching that which is lost. And the ignorance of them is so weak and so dumb. So dumb. Not realizing if you're going to call this written by the white man, what about all the other books you didn't find? Couldn't those be smeared and messed up as well? And you grabbing all these books. And Solomon already told you too many books is too much sorrow and worrisome. They don't care. Because they trying to find something to cover the ugliness of who they are. They're trying to put on more clown clothes to cover up the sin, evil, and wicked that they are built upon. Ahiah chose a people before the foundation of the world to bring the Messiah down. That's why the Lamb was slaughtered before the foundation, but he couldn't come down because he had to come down as the Son of Man. So he had to come down a nation, a bloodline. So Ahiah chose the tribe of Judah. But he chose him before the foundation of the world, the worst of the worst. He knew the worst of the worst. Judah was the worst of the worst. He knew it when he sent him down here. Because I'm going to tell you something. The tribe of Judah, they haven't even studied to show thyself. Because if they studied to show thyself, they'll realize, hey, we've been an ugly people since the beginning. I mean, a really, really, really bad, ugly people. So even though you saying somebody took your not your ladies, the Jews took your position, guess what? If they only knew the position that you are, they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't want it. And as they see you, they see that you can't be that which you they knew you to be. Not that much ugliness in y'all. Not that much wicked. Y'all, if you ain't seen our Hebrew Israelite men and women out here, something wrong with you too. Anybody that ain't seen how these people have been in the last 20 and 30 years, something wrong with you too. Because it's just one day you can get on there and it'll make you see your whole nation to be somebody from the hell itself. That's just how bad it is. But we run from truth and hide because we about lie. And we hide in it. We don't want to come out and tell the truth of the matter. But Ahiah said in Deuteronomy, whether you like it or not, the end game is that you're going to lose it. And you have lost it. Because you can't come to the understanding at all. No, none can. No church, no religion in the Hebrew Israelite movement have accepted the end game of the curse. Ahiah said because they've been lying. They built their little religion up on a lie to make him a lie that he didn't put the curse on them. That's why they chasing the heathens' history. So Sister Deborah says, the more you read, Ahiah is saying to me, even under the Ruach, or everything is plainly seen. That which in the dark shall come to the light. You see, everything is plainly seen. The reason why these heathens see us to be the way that we are, it's because we're really that people. We that same. You know why you that people? It's because you did it to the Creator. The heathen is not going to say they did it to the Creator for thousands of years since the world been here. They can't say that. But we can say we went up against the Creator thousands of years, and still to today. Disrespect and dishonor. We are loaded with stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience, whoremongering, all kind of wicked and evil. And we thinking we're the children. We're thinking that we are the children. See, the one thing they never knew, there's two different children. It is the children of Satan, and it is the children of Yah. You see? The children of Yah are those that has righteous faith and belief branded in them before the foundation of the world. The children of Satan has nothing but wicked and evil. Follow after wicked and evil day and night, night and day. And anytime somebody tell you that Deuteronomy 28 and used it to start their newfound religion to lie on a higher, that he did not warn us back in Genesis, through Abraham, through Leviticus, through Exodus, through Deuteronomy, all the way through about what we at today, the 400 years. We were warned thousands of years before the 400 years came upon us, and we still disrespected him and dishonored him and told him, you don't know what you talking about. You ain't our God. We have all kind of idols. We worship this, we worship that. See, y'all just got bent. You all are bent up and down because you all really think these men and these women teaching you all. I don't have no problem. Why? Now, if he didn't tell me it wasn't finished, then I had a problem. But it is over. It is finished. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of it. And I know I was supposed to go live, but I decided to take this in a way that I could swing it the way the Spirit had given me. And I felt better and comfortable just swinging it and uploading it. So I, Sister Deborah, say I hope you got something out of it. And shalom and shalom.